Keeping venomous reptiles is an unforgiving hobby, requiring proper training and lots of experience. One simple mistake can be the difference between life and death. Remember, the most venomous snake in the world is the one that just bit you. There are no venomous snakes with training wheels. Just because you see Viperkeeper handle snakes a certain way does not mean you should try it too.
Alright, it looks like the rocket is poised for launch. Offer her a nice, hot, warm, tasty treat. I'll tell you, it's really a pleasure, and I really am happy that the rocket has come back on feed. I was really worried about her because she was off feed from like November to May, you know, so you know, that's sort of when they breed, ovulate, and then, you know, they naturally go off feed for most of the time that they're gravid. But, you know, she didn't produce anything, no slugs, no nothing. And again, I haven't tried to breed her, but she certainly went off feed and she got quite thin. So I'm very, very pleased that she's eating again and happy to see me when I present food. And she knows today is Saturday. Saturday and Sunday are the predominant snake care days and feeding days. So they're all excited about seeing me. So again, I'm very pleased, and I can tell you Mrs. Viperkeeper also is very pleased because, of course, you know, Rocket and these Insularis and all the snakes, you know, we really, you know, love them. You know, we see pictures on our computers. I have, you know, a lot of the photos I've taken of animals in the past that we've kept, and we see them and we're like, you know, we really miss, you know, the Black Beast, we miss Kermit, we miss Slinky, you know, all those guys that who are longtime fans of the channel, all, you know and love. And, you know, I encourage you to go back and watch some of the older videos so you can visit with them again, because they're not really gone if you remember them, and that's a way to sort of, you know, enjoy that experience once again. So we'll let her eat, and we'll move on to other critters that need to be fed. Alright, Mr. Boomslang has come out of his funk, and he's shed, as you can see. I will see if he's interested in eating this week. Last week I gave him 2 mice. Yeah, bud. There ya go. Alright, Mr. Boomslang. Let's see if we can do some up-close work with you. Now, Boomslangs have this peculiar odor. You know, it's sort of a musk that comes out when they're not necessarily when they defecate, but certainly comes out with the urate. And, you know, his cage needs to be cleaned, but he needs to go into his trap box before I can attempt to clean his home. You know, he's a large boomslang. The venom is quite toxic. It's probably the most lethal snake that I have here in the lair right now, closely followed by the death adders. So, you know, I pulled him out and dropped him in the big bucket and cleaned his cage before. Not fun, because you remember, these guys are arboreal, and they'll come up the hook. They'll try to go vertical. They're very difficult critters to handle. So he's made short work of that mouse. So let me get another one ready. For a moment I thought that was substrate, but it's actually a mouse tail protruding from his mouth. We'll see if we can get him to come over here and very nicely take the mouse. Yes, I saw your eye move to look at me. Now remember, boomslangs have venom that causes basically your cell's integrity to sort of break down, sort of like Ebola virus. You know, you bleed, you know, from all the capillaries in your body, all your orifices into your gut, all those terrible things that you don't want happening to you. Antivenin is very scarce here in the US because I don't know of anybody who really keeps these anymore. I'm sure there's a few people out there. I have one vial of antivenin in-house. The antivenin, since it comes from South Africa, is very expensive. You know, normal polyvalent antivenin from South Africa is about $350 to $400 a vial. One vial of Boomslang antivenin was over $5,000. So it's not something that the antivenin banks keep in stock. The antivenin producer, Insularis, or maybe it's ICP, are in the clinical trials of a polyvalent antivenin to include the ability to neutralize boomslang venom. But you know, that's sort of in clinical trials, and that could be possibly attained in an emergency use case, but I'm not sure of its availability, and you know, because they're doing trials on it, you know, efficacy is important. You know, so many of the Indian antivenins on the Indian subcontinent are just very, very poor efficacy. They don't really work on the snakes that they're supposed to work on, so you have to give more, and they're not very clean antivenins. Therefore, there's the possibility of an adverse reaction. So that's not helpful in healing you from a bite. So he has that licked. So I'm going to back off just a hair and give him a third one, and then call it a day with Mr. Boomslang. Although I might try to clean up his shed after he's eaten. At least get that out of the cage. Got to change his water dish. You know, the cages may be a bit dirty, but everybody always has fresh water. Hi, dude. As long as you're calm, I'm calm. There you go. Look at the size of that fang. That's huge. And they have the ability to take and open their mouth greater than 180 degrees. So they just sort of have to plant their open mouth on any part of your body and envenomate you quite quickly. So these are really quite tricky snakes to work with. So I'll let him finish eating. I'm going to shut his door. I'll get his water dish in a little while and we'll move on to the next critter. Really? She's always ready. The Wet Tar Island pit vipers. They're truly a beauty, although I am partial to the ones that look more like the white-lip pit vipers. But I like the green with the yellow lips. The blue ones, of course, are beautiful and stuff, and I miss the ones from Wet Tar Island, which are yellow. Lemon yellow, as bright lemon yellow as you've ever seen, except they're impossible to get because the dealer from Indonesia doesn't ship to the U.S. anymore because of U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service being unreasonable. Alright, I'll shut that door to make sure that we don't have an unexpected visit from her.